83. Mind Monkey knows the elixir source. Fair girl returns to her true nature. We were telling you about Tripitaka, who was escorted out of the cave by the monster spirit. Sha Monk drew near and asked, "Master, you've come out, but where's elder brother?" "He's calculating enough," said 8 Rules. "So he must have accompanied Master out here somehow." Pointing at the monster spirit, Tripitaka said, "Your elder brother is in her belly." "How dirty and smelly," said 8 Rules with a giggle. "What's he doing in her belly? Come out." Pilgrim cried out from within. "Open wide your mouth and let me come out." The fiend opened her mouth as bidden. Pilgrim reduced his size and crawled up to her throat. He was about to go out, but fearing that she might bite him, he took out the iron rod and blew his immortal breath onto it, crying, "Change." It changed into a small nail, which propped up the roof of her mouth. With a bound, he leapt clear of her mouth, taking along with him the iron rod as he jumped. One stretch of his torso helped him to assume his characteristic appearance as he struck with uplifted rod. The monster spirit also picked up her pair of treasure swords and blocked his blow with a loud clang. The two of them thus began a fierce battle on the top of the mountain. Double swords flying that slash at the face. A golden hooped rod that aims at the head. One is a heaven-born ape with a mind monkey frame. One is an earth-born spirit with a fair girl form. The two of them are full of hate. Gladness breeds rancor, causing a mighty bout. That one desires primal yang to be her mate. This one fights pure yin to form the holy babe. The upraised rod fills the sky with chilly fog. The sword goes forth, the land roils with black dirt. Because the elders, in quest of Buddha, they strive bitterly, showing great power. Water wars with fire to hurt the basic way. Yin-yang cannot unite, each drifting free. The two engage in such a lengthy brawl, that mountain and earthquake as forests sprawl. When 8 Rules saw them battling in this manner, he began to murmur against Pilgrim. Turning to Sha Monk, he said, "Brother, elder brother's twiddling." When he was in her just now, he could have sent her a belly full of red with his fists and crawled out by punching through her stomach. That way he would have had done with her, wouldn't he? Why did he have to come out through her mouth and fight with her, allowing her to be so insolent? "You're quite right," replied Sha Monk. "But elder brother, after all, has worked very hard to have Master rescued from a deep cave. Now that he has to fight some more with the monster spirit, I think Master should sit by himself while you and I go with our weapons to lend some assistance to elder brother. Let's go and knock down that monster spirit." "No, no. No," said 8 Rules, waving his hand. "He has magic powers, but we're quite useless." "What are you saying?" asked Sha Monk. "That's something that will benefit everyone. We may be useless, but even our fart can add to the wind." That idiot did become aroused for the moment. Whipping out his rake, he cried, "Let's go then." Abandoning their master, they both mounted the wind and rushed forward to battle, madly delivering blows to the monster spirit with their rake and staff. The monster spirit was already having difficulty withstanding Pilgrim by herself. When she saw the two of them, she knew that defeat was certain. Twirling around, she tried to flee. "Brothers, catch her!" snapped Pilgrim. When the monster spirit saw that they were pressing, she yanked off the flower slipper from her right foot and blew her immortal breath on it, crying, "Change!" It at once took on her appearance, attacking her pursuers with 2 swords. She herself, with one shake of her body, changed into a clear gust of wind and sped away. Now, you may think that we were only speaking of her defeat and of her retreat out of regard for her own life. How could you know that this had to be the turn of events? It must be that the Star of Calamity had not withdrawn its influence over Tripitaka. As the monster spirit sped by the cave entrance, she saw Tripitaka sitting all alone beneath the towered gate. Rushing up to him, she snatched him and the luggage as well and bit through the reins. She succeeded in abducting both person and horse into the cave, where we shall leave them for the moment. We tell you instead about 8 Rules, who found an opening and struck down the monster spirit with one blow of his rake. Then he discovered that it was only a flower slipper. "You 2 idiots," said Pilgrim. "It's enough for you to look after Master. Who asked you to come and help?" "There you are, Shamunk," said 8 Rules. "Didn't I tell you not to come? This monkey's sick in his brains. We help him to subdue the fiend, but he blames us instead." "Where on earth did you subdue a fiend?" Pilgrim said. "When she fought with me yesterday, that fiend tricked me by this ploy of dropping her slipper. I wonder how Master is faring now that you 2 have left his side. Let's hurry back and look." The 3 of them hurried back, but their master indeed had vanished. There was not even a trace of the luggage or the white horse. So astonished was 8 Rules that he dashed back and forth in confusion, while Shamunk searched hither and yon. The great sage Sun too was racked by anxiety as he looked everywhere, and then he saw half a rein lying by the side of the road. Picking it up, he could not stop the tears flowing from his eyes. "Oh Master!" he cried aloud. "When I left I took leave of both man and horse. When I returned I could see only this rope." Thus it was that, seeing the saddle, he recalled the horse. Shedding tears, he thought of his kin. When 8 Rules saw him shedding tears, however, he broke into loud guffaws with face raised toward the sky. "You coolie!" scolded Pilgrim. "You want to disband again?" "Oh, elder brother," said 8 Rules, still laughing. "It's not like that. Master must have been abducted into the cave once more by the monster spirit. As the proverb says, success comes only with a 3rd try. You have entered the cave twice. Now go in a 3rd time, and I'm sure that you'll be able to bring out Master." Wiping away his tears, Pilgrim replied, "All right. Since things are this way, I have little choice but to go in again. Now that you don't even have to worry about the luggage and the horse, you must take care to guard the entrance. Dear great sage." He turned and leapt into the cave. Not undergoing transformation, he merely retained his characteristic appearance. Truly, of strange-looking cheeks and a valiant mind. He grew up a fiend with great magic strength. His face like a saddle curved up and down. His eyes flashed gold beams that blazed like fire. Hard like needles were his whole body's furs. His tiger skin kilt jingled with loud floral bells. In heaven he crashed through 10,000 clouds. His rod in the sea lifted mountainous waves. That day his might beat up the Devarajas, and repelled 108,000 foes. Appointed great sage, the handsome monkey sprite. He used, by custom, a golden hooped rod. In the west today displaying his might. To save Tripitaka he enters the cave. Look at him. He stopped the cloudy luminosity after he reached the residence of the monster spirit, where he found the towered gates were all shut. Without regard for good or ill, he broke through with one blow of his rod and barged in. It was completely quiet and not a trace of the inhabitants could be found. The Tang monk was no longer seen by the east corridor. The furniture in the pavilion and the various utensils had all disappeared. There were, you see, some 300 miles of living space inside the cave, and the monster spirit had many residences. When she had brought the Tang monk to this particular spot the time before, Pilgrim had found them. Now that she had abducted the Tang monk again, she feared that Pilgrim would return to the same place, and so she immediately moved somewhere else. Our Pilgrim was so exasperated that he pounded his chest and stamped his feet, crying, "Oh Master! You are a misfortune-begotten Tripitaka Tang, a scripture monk forged by calamity. Alas! This road is familiar enough to me. Why aren't you here? Where should old monkey look for you?" As he was shouting like this in great annoyance, his nose suddenly caught a whiff of scented breeze. Calming down all at once, he said to himself, "This incense drifted out from the rear. They must be back there. Gripping the iron rod, he strode in but found no movement whatever, only 3 small chambers. At the back of one of these chambers was a lacquered sacrificial table with open-mouthed dragons carved on both sides. On the table was a huge incense urn of melted gold from which fragrant incense smoke curled upward. Above the urn was hung a large plaque with the following inscription in gold letters, "The Tablet of Honored Father, Devaraj Ali." Slightly below it to one side was another inscription, "The Tablet of Honored Brother Na-a, the Third Prince." Filled with delight by what he saw, Pilgrim immediately abandoned his search for the fiend or the Tang monk. He gave his iron rod a squeeze to change it back into an embroidery needle, which he could store in his ear. Stretching forth his hands, he took the plaque and the urn and trod on his cloudy luminosity to go back out to the entrance of the cave, hee-hawing in continuous laughter on the way. When 8 Rules and Sha Monk heard him, they stepped aside to meet him, saying, "Elder brother, you must have succeeded in rescuing Master, and that's why you're so happy. No need for us to go rescue Master," said Pilgrim, still guffawing. "Just make our demand known to this plaque." "Oh, elder brother," said 8 Rules. "This plaque is no monster spirit, nor does it know how to speak. Why should we make our demand known to it? Take a look, both of you," said Pilgrim as he placed the plaque on the ground.